Original script with punctuation fixes. What if I told you that women can sense a weakness in a man before he even speaks a word? It's not something you wear on your sleeve, it's in your posture, your tone, the way you carry yourself through life. Most men are completely oblivious to these signals, but women pick up on them instantly. This isn't just intuition, it's psychology. Evolution wired women to seek strengths, not brute physical dominance, but emotional resilience, leadership, and self-assurance. When a man lacks these qualities, it's like a silent alarm going off in her subconscious mind. But here's the thing, weakness isn't what you think it is. It's not about falling or making mistakes, those are a part of growth. Real weakness lies in your inability to handle adversity, your obsession with validation, and your lack of control over your emotions. As Stoics, we know that true strength comes from within. It's not about external bravado, but mastering your thoughts, responses, and reactions. Today, we're breaking down 7 ways women see your weakness, often without you even realizing it. Recognize these patterns, eliminate them, and watch how people respond differently to your presence. 1. You seek constant validation. One of the most glaring signs of weakness is a man's craving for approval. Women can sense when your confidence depends on their attention or praise, and nothing repels them faster. Psychologists call this an external locus of control, where your self-worth is dictated by outside opinions rather than your internal values. Men who constantly seek validation are like empty vessels, waiting for someone else to fill them up. This creates a dynamic where you're always performing, always needing to be enough. How does this show up? You fish for compliments, though you think you did a good job. You change your opinions to match hers, used to avoid conflict. You become desperate for responses to texts or social media likes. Epictetus said, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it within yourselves." Stop looking outward for approval. Instead, develop your own metrics for success. Ask yourself, did I live today according to my principles? Did he act with courage and honesty? If the answer is yes, you need no applause. Women are naturally drawn to men who are self-assured. Rewritten version, more engaging and polished. Imagine this, before you even say a word, a woman has already sized you up. She can sense something about you, something invisible yet undeniable. It's not in your clothes or the words you choose, it's in your posture, your tone, and the way you move through life. Most men don't realize they're rebroadcasting signals of weakness. But women? They pick up on them instantly. And it's not magic, it's psychology. Evolution has hardwired women to seek strengths. Not just physical dominance, but emotional resilience, leadership, and unwavering self-assurance. When a man lacks this, it sets off silent alarms in her subconscious. But let's be clear, weakness isn't what you think. It's not failure. It's not making mistakes, those are necessary for growth. Real weakness is your inability to handle adversity, your desperate need for validation, and your lack of emotional control. As Stoics teach, true strength isn't about flashy bravado, it's about mastering yourself. Today, we're breaking down 7 ways women perceive weakness, often before you even realize it. Spot these habits, cut them out, and watch how your presence commands new respect. 1. You crave constant validation. One of the biggest red flags. A man who needs approval to feel worthy. Women can smell this insecurity, and nothing turns them off faster. Psychologists call it an external locus of control, when your self-worth is determined by others instead of your inner values. Men who seek validation act like empty vessels, waiting for someone else to fill them up. and that. It's exhausting. How does this show up? You fish for compliments. Was that okay? Did it do a good job? You shift your opinions used to avoid conflict. You obsess over texts, likes, or responses. As Epictetus said, seek not the good in external things, seek it within yourself. Forget the applause. Set your own standards. Ask yourself, did I act with integrity today? Did I stay true to my principles? If the answer is yes, you don't need validation. Women gravitate toward men who are already sure of themselves. The signs of weakness that repel women: you seek constant reassurance. Strong men don't need continuous validation because they know who they are. By developing internal confidence, you project strengths without uttering a word. You avoid conflict at all costs. Men fear conflict, mistaking agreeableness for likability. They believe saying yes to everything makes them more attractive, but women see through this facade and lose respect. Psychologists call this submissive communication, where you suppress your needs to keep the peace. Over time, this breeds resentment, both within yourself and from others who sense your lack of backbone. How does this show up? You agree with opinions you don't believe in to avoid tension. You apologize excessively, even when you've done nothing wrong. You back down immediately when challenged. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding yourself in the ranks of the insane. Being stoic doesn't mean avoiding conflict, it means engaging wisely and calmly when necessary. Practice assertive communication. Express your opinions clearly and respectfully without aggression. Women respect men who stand their ground with dignity. Strength isn't about dominance, it's about knowing when to speak and when to remain silent without fear dictating your choice. You can't control your emotions. A man ruled by his emotions is like a ship lost at sea. Women are highly perceptive to emotional instability. Outbursts of anger, jealousy, or insecurity signal weakness and a lack of self-mastery. Emotional volatility often stems from poor self-awareness and weak coping mechanisms. Instead of processing feelings calmly, you react impulsively, driven by fear or ego. How does this show up? You become defensive when criticized. You overreact to minor inconveniences. Jealousy consumes you when she talks to other men. Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Emotional mastery begins with recognizing that your feelings are temporary reactions, not absolute truths. Practice mindfulness and self-reflection. When anger or insecurity rises, pause, breathe, and observe the emotion without acting on it. Over time, this builds resilience and composure under pressure, qualities that women find incredibly attractive. You talk more than you act. There is a sign, a lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion. Yet, many men fall into the trap of talking endlessly about their dreams and abilities without proving them through action. Women pick up on this instantly. Lofty promises and bold declarations without results come across as insecurity in disguise, an attempt to seek validation rather than demonstrating actual capability. How does this show up? You constantly tell people about your goals but take no real steps toward them. You exaggerate your achievements to seem more impressive. You make promises you can't or won't keep. A man who talks more than he acts becomes predictable and untrustworthy. Women are naturally drawn to men who move in silence, surprising others with their accomplishments rather than their empty boasts. You blame others for your problems. A man who refuses to take responsibility for his life might as well wear a neon sign that says, "I'm weak." Nothing turns off a woman faster than someone who plays the victim, constantly pointing fingers at the world for his shortcomings. Blaming others is a defense mechanism, a fragile ego shielding itself from the harsh reality that many problems are self-created. But by refusing to take accountability, you also forfeit the power to change your circumstances. How does this show up? You can plan about your job, boss, or co-workers without taking steps to improve your career. You blame your ex for failed relationships without acknowledging your own mistakes. You chalk up your lack of success to bad luck instead of personal responsibility. Women respect men who own their mistakes because accountability signals strengths. It shows courage, growth, and resilience, traits that make a man attractive. You struggle to say no. A man without boundaries is a man without self-respect. Women can sense this instantly. Initially, your agreeableness may seem appealing, but over time, it signals a deeper problem, a lack of backbone. Saying yes to everything isn't kindness, it's weakness. People, including women, don't respect those who can't stand up for themselves. How does this show up? You agree to social events or favors even when you're exhausted or uninterested. You let others take advantage of your time and energy. You avoid saying no because you fear seeming rude or selfish. Women respect men who set clear boundaries and enforce them confidently. A man who says no when necessary signals strength, confidence, and self-respect. Without these qualities, you appear easily manipulated, a dynamic that quickly erodes attraction. You lack purpose. Perhaps the most profound sign of weakness is a man who drifts through life without direction. Women are naturally drawn to men who live with intention, passion, and purpose. A mission-driven man exudes confidence, discipline, and ambition, qualities that make him compelling. If you find yourself aimless, start setting goals. Develop skills, build something meaningful, and take charge of your path. Purpose breeds strength, and a strong man is always attractive. Final thoughts. Weakness isn't about physical strength or dominance, it's about character. Women are attracted to men who are confident, accountable, and emotionally resilient. If you recognize any of these traits in yourself, start making changes today. Strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate. A man without purpose fades into the background, becoming used another aimless wanderer. Purpose isn't about fame, wealth, or grand achievements, it's about having a reason to get out of bed in the morning, a goal, a passion, or a set of principles that guide your actions. Without this, life becomes hollow, marked by distraction and meaningless pursuits. A man lacking purpose often exhibits the following behaviors: spends hours mindlessly scrolling through social media or binge-watching TV without any sense of accomplishment. It drifts from hope to hope with no clear career path or ambition. It prioritizes fleeting pleasures, meaningless hookups or material possessions, over long-term growth. Women can sense this lack of purpose because it radiates through your actions, your conversations, and even your body language. It signals stagnation, a refusal to strive for something greater. Conversely, when a man has purpose, everything about him changes. His energy becomes magnetic. He moves with confidence and speaks with conviction. He no longer seeks validation because his fulfillment comes from within. Attraction isn't just about looks or charm, it's about the life force you carry, and purpose is the foundation of that force. Without it, you become forgettable. With it, you become unforgettable. So, there you have it, 7 ways women can spot weakness, often before you even realize it yourself. But there is the truth: recognizing these patterns isn't about seeking external validation or manipulating how others see you. It's about self-mastery. The Stoic path teaches us that real strength begins within. When you develop emotional control, confidence rooted in action, and a clear sense of purpose, you naturally project power without saying a word. Women notice it. People respect it. And most importantly, you respect yourself. If you found value in today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Stoic Guide. We're here to help you navigate life with wisdom, strength, and purpose. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. And see you next time.